Ceremonial pauses. What is up, everybody? Hello.
Hey, everybody. How are you, everybody?
Dingo and the baby.
Dingo and the baby.
Dingo and the baby. What is up?
How's everyone
How's
doing
everybody
today?
doing? We're back here for another round of the Young Justice Pod Kizzle.
Another round. We are
My
here to
nizzle.
talk about episode 2.
Yeah.
Please refer back to our first podcast, episode 1. This podcast is brought to you today by
These hugs.
These Hugs, a new up-and-coming hug venue
Go follow.
found in the greater northwest of Manhattan.
Hashtag hug for life.
No, but on a less serious note,
Hashtag keep watching Young Justice. That's
keep
not it.
bringing Young
Keep
Justice.
bringing YJ.
Hashtag keep bringing YJ.
Hashtag
Why
keep
is that
bringing-
important?
Because we want more Young Justice. We need more Young Justice. I
Oh.
bleed for more Young Justice.
Need for more Young Justice. So if I want more Young Justice on all of my social media game, which is on fire, BT Dubs,
BT Dubs.
I gotta put
I
hashtag
like BT Dubs.
keep bringing YJ out there so that we can get a season 3.
Season 3.
All right, so
Episode 2.
let's talk about episode 2.
Let's get into
Let's
it.
just dive
Firework.
right into it. Fireworks is the name.
Fireworks is the name. And it is focused.
Yeah, it's focus.
The show
It's
knows exactly where it's headed.
refined.
They really take the themes that they were building on of patience and relationships
Mm-hmm.
and go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
It's slow. It has a real slow opening.
How does it open? Is it
Superboy. So in the beginning, we left off with Superboy slamming the door open, and
they walk by
and we can all see it. And now everything's revealed, and they have the young heroes captured.
right?
And now they have them in pod form, and their plan is to. We don't even get there yet. They have them captured in
They
pod
have-
form.
The other 3 captured: Robin, and Aqualad, and Flash, and Superboy is being watching over there.
Yeah, he's
just
like the guard.
listening.
Yeah.
He's guarding them.
He's watching him. He's curious. We get to see Superman's brain, or Superboy. They really take their time with how Superman, who was a mindless, not even a freak, he was just mindless. Didn't say any word, pure weapon
Superboy.
in the first episode, Superboy. And now in this one, he is cautious. He's thoughtful. He is deliberate with his vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And they really experience, like, what are his emotions and what is he going to be struggling with. And they take the time to really let that play through in a fast episode.
Yeah, really fast episode. I feel like what's really cool is that the episode doesn't feel like it's wrapping up like a part 2 can end up feeling, of like we threw a whole bunch of loose ends out there in the part 1, and then this one's like tying all the loose ends. It felt like its own independent episode, and I thought that was really cool. And so yeah, it seemed quick, but got straight to the point on a lot of main seasonal arcs, main character development. Right away, episode 2 is talking about deep character development and foreshadowing different dramas that the people are going to have to battle with together. For instance,
The cloning.
the cloning.
Yeah, Superboy. It's because Superman is so badass.
Yeah.
Superboy is faced with the decision or the paradox of what was done to him.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's forced to decide whether this is justified.
Exactly. I think that is one of that main character development for Superboy. And the theme of this episode, which is not patience. Patience is there, but it's not the theme. It's choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a Superboy episode, which he carries choice around. He has to choose, and that's huge for his character development. In a lot of ways, I feel like Superboy represents the audience, and how it is to be a normal human. You know, he's an allegory to us more than anybody else in the show. It's really hard to live life sometimes. It's rough. You feel unrefined. You feel savage-like, and especially when you're living in someone else's rules and someone else is telling you what to do, you feel just like a group worker, and you have to make the choice to be free, you know? So it's super cool. That line that they even say, where it's like, he says, I choose freedom, and it's like, I choose
right.
freedom. Really cool.
Yeah, what's interesting about that too, that it takes place in a really unique area of the episode. That's not the conclusion, even though that's Superboy's ultimate goal. That's his growth of the 2 episodes.
Right.
They have that piece, and then they give you the team element, and then you finish with that amazing conclusion of, I'm choosing my path.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the choice as a theme, and you see it play out in Superboy specifically, but then also in the episode and everybody and all the characters together.
And they do such an interesting job there. When they introduce exposition, so when they describe what's happening in the story, what someone's thought is, what we're doing, what the motivation for someone is, or where the context of the screen is. This bomb will blow up in 4 minutes. It's exposition. And it's so easy to lose humanity because people don't talk that way generally. But they do such an excellent job of letting the characters unfold and letting the conversation dictate their personality. And so when you mention things like the cloning process or what else is there? Personal growth from no dialogue to dialogue. They give you step by step what's happening, but it comes at an interpersonal level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, like something you see in episodes, especially 2-parters, is recapping what happened last time. Say if new viewers are just watching episode 2, and it's like trying to remind them of kind of what happened in normal dialogue or somehow through exhibition. They do it really well of reminding you, yep, we have 52 floors to get up. We're stuck at the bottom of this thing. This is the context. This is the situation. Are you, audience, with us? All right, let's go. And they find really creative ways to take you there and really organic ways to take you there. Super cool.
And it's not just with like their dialogue. They use different story elements. When a character purposely sets off an order of events, they have that scenario of a countdown. You know, I have 10, 9, 8, 7, we got to get out of here type of a situation. And they do that between all different forms of dialogue, action, and the story elements of where the episode's going. So it's really creative. I love it, man.
Super creative.
What was another piece of the episode that you thought was just...
I think one thing that stood out to me this time watching it was the combination between teamwork and friendship. We see teamwork for the first time. Like, they are a Young Justice team. They're finally trying to work as a unit. That they just met Superboy. They don't even know him, you know, and they've never worked as a unit before either. It shows some of the pitfalls that might happen, the differences, how Robin just is kind of on the go a little bit and is used to working with Batman and stuff. But I think it has to be said that, and it's so clear, they never state it until the very end of the episode. Maybe they put a nod to it, but they clearly are amazing as a unit working together. Never met Superboy before, and the entire episode, just like a win, clicking, amazing. Just know how to play off each other and solve problems together and be themselves, but then also be a greater piece. And I think that that's like one of the most important things about this show and the teamwork. It would be like they are the team version of a Prodigy, you know, a Neo. Teams, some people are more talented than others at working in the team groups. And if you look at teams, they're a young group that is as good almost as Justice League already, you know, and Justice League's are been working together for years. They are a prodigy of what teamwork is supposed to be, and that needs to be like shown. They're the Neo of teamwork. And that's just the beginning. They just found out that they're Neo. Now we get to see them become the chosen one. They become the Avatar, the Aang. They become the Shangri-La of what teamwork should be. They're reaching everyone else's ceiling right now at the beginning of season 1, and we get to see them pass that ceiling to a whole new level of what teamwork should be. So I think
absolutely,
I think
man.
that's so cool.
It's really interesting the way they take the characters' superpowers and they show their alpha and their omegas.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see really creative setups where Superboy can be extraordinarily strong, extraordinarily combative, and have a might that is unmeasured.
Yeah.
And then they measure it and they show you area where he's not strong enough or not quick enough. Same with Robin, same with Kid Flash. You get to see these superhuman abilities in a situation that was created. Like, none of this actually happened, right? They're not following any real story. That's definitely a unique creation for this universe.
So cool.
And they do such a good job of layering it together so their powers are now what we know them without ever having to say it. You never have to say kryptonite is a weakness. You never have to say he's a loner. Oh, I hit the microphone.
Yeah.
It just unveils itself to you.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking amazing.
I completely agree. It's the powers is a really good point to bring up, because not only are they making the show of that prodigy, but then it's just so fun. The combinations that they decided to set up with really is entertaining to watch. You have Superboy. I feel like there's 2 types of power people.
Yeah.
There's heavy hitters
and
there's non-heavy hitters. There's the yings and the yangs. You know what I mean? And Superboy and Aqualad are definitely in that strong hitter category.
Might makes right.
Might makes right. And you can cling to that if you're one of those people in real life. You know what I mean? Those A-type, B-type personalities. And then, Robin, Kid Flash and Robin would be the other kind of B-type, less aggressive, yin-yang, whatever version. And how Kid Flash and Robin are 2 very different people, but they have to fight in a similar manner, as in like avoidance, as in defensive.
Right.
So it's so cool to see 2 complete different strategies, but under the same umbrella. And then to see Aqualad and Superboy aren't very close in terms of the way they fight, but they are under the same umbrella. So you get the ideas of the umbrella, and then you get the variants in between, and it just keeps going in gradation. Yeah. That's just an awesome show to watch.
I don't know what chicken or the egg, but that's the idea of 2 minds are better than 1.
Yeah.
Right? And that just comes forward. And for me, what that tells about the show is more of what's the word I'm looking for? Truth to it. You know what I mean? It comes against these laws of nature.
Yeah.
And walks out that idea. And it does it in a way that is truthful. It's understandable. You're like, that isn't a fucking ridiculous world. It doesn't have anything to do with us at all, but it is something that human interaction recognizes.
Like that's what I'm finding enjoyable, is that I'm recognizing humanity in this weird scientific world of kids fighting.
A kid cop league of 6 cops. So stupid. The dumbest thing ever. I love it.
I love it too.
Oh God.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on show highlights?
Oh man, yeah. The conclusion was the most exciting, complete ending that I had seen in a really, really long time. The story is done. It started. That was an intro. That was a birth comic.
Yeah.
And they're going on from that. The world's continuing, but that
was the beginning.
The beginning and the end. And they had the moments of cliffhangers, and they had the moments of clarity and strength.
Almost movie-like. That starts the series.
Yeah. It was really, really interesting. And the way they pick up, again, hindsight, the way they pick it up and keep going is really fun. And so for me, that was just a setting of a tempo of like, our villains are going to be operating at this level and our heroes are going to be operating at this level. Yeah. Are you ready for the ride?
What point of it for you is like conclusion in terms of do you mean after they defeat Desmond or after their conversation, what would you say is beginning, middle, end phases of that episode?
Yeah, so the beginning obviously is the conversation. And then the end is...
In the middle is the fight.
The middle of the fight.
Well, like not just the running around trying to escape. And then the end is when they coming out of the rubble. We're all new together.
Yeah.
Where you rebirth from the ashes.
Right. And then you see Superman's full growth. Like that was a Superboy episode. And he consists of the team. So the team has their reveal and their celebratory moment. But his moment of I am who I am and this is my choice type of idea, and how he walks that through with his family, but then in the face of the Justice League. He carries that. I think that would be like the end of the episode. And everything past that is like that cliffhanger piece.
Yeah.
Batman's going to set up the league.
Right.
This is where you guys are at.
I almost forgot about that.
And then here's how... So the same way you were talking about patience, or the same way you were talking about dynamic, right? Here's how it is acted out on the farthest positive side.
Yeah.
The heroes, their communication, their dialogue. They finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
Here's how it happens on the evil side. They repeat each other's sentences. It's, a mirror of each other. Yeah. And so that's like the polars of the world.
Shows those two there. And these kids are in the middle of it. Super cool. A couple points I wanted to make about this episode I really like is, like I was saying, there's that line from Aqualad. Just so cool when at the end he's like, no, we're going to keep this team going thing. Sorry, my king, or whatever. And his justification is that whole prodigy thing. He says it's just like, we were just badass. Like, we had no words. We were in this giant monster. We're by ourselves. We're in this thing. We could have all died. And we pulled it out. We did like that NBA, all-star, that athlete in the moment, that cipher, that everything. It was organic. It happened. We all lost. Mindfulness. We all lost ourselves in the moment and just did. I just knew where he was. Like, we were so cool, guys. Like, there's no way this can't keep going because this was just amazing. Duh, right? That was something else. That was a one being thing that needs to have value. I think that's so cool when he says that line, and I didn't catch it before. And I think that a big part of that team to get to be that prodigy is that they have such open friendship, and that's a huge part of the show. That's hard, besides people like you that I've known my whole life, to be open and have friendships now and try to find that. I feel like you can't control it. There's just some people that you naturally are drawn to be just yourself, and there's some that you're not, and it just happens or it doesn't. And it has happened sometimes in real life, but most of the time it doesn't. It's really rare. And they have that moment where they're like, they're just friends. They're all just open. They just know who each other are. They see each other's vulnerabilities.
Right.
When Superboy can't fly, he just jumps. And then Kid Flash, they're in the middle of an elevator. They're in the middle of a battle. And Kid Flash takes the time to reassure him and validate him because he just knows that's what he's talking about. That he feels really down right now. And I'm going to take the time to be like, you're all right. I think that's super cool and evidence to how a good team works and how cool their team is. Those are the parts that get me going, ooh, during this episode. Oh, I love that. So
nice. I dig it, man. I dig it. Absolutely. God bless it. God bless it.
I do have a grind my gears.
Me too.
Good.
Good to go.
I do have a couple of critiques.
Bury the
as
lead.
Much
Let's
as
go.
I
and
love
the baby.
Go for it. Dingo.
Dingo, dingo, dingo. Biggest grind in my gears is our setup. Right now, I want individual headphones. This is so
I'm
fun.
like coming in and out.
And I've learned so much more about this show and got to explore some things about the show that I would never have gotten that deep with.
Heck yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man, I'm having a blast. That's really cool. And the fact that that show is standing up to all it's made out in my mind is really gratifying. Yeah. And this is like a catalyst. I was just like, oh, fuck, this is badass.
Yeah, but you're mad that...
But I'm mad that we got the one headphone piece. I got to bring it in, shit like that. I keep punching the table and
trying
shit.
not to move.
It's difficult.
Just so you guys know, right before this, the dingo broke a lamp in my house. He was like a bull in a china shop. We were sitting here, and he got up, and I think the kitchen exploded.
I'm a buffoon.
Broke that lamp.
Buffoon.
That's okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
What do you do? Oh, I will tell you. Tell you what grinds my
Get
gears.
these gears.
Desmond. Love him. Good character, everything. His voice acting, don't know why. Maybe it's me thing, especially in this the second time you listen to him, is really irritating. Oh, I know you don't. I don't want to. How dare Robin? Of course. He just like, I don't know what he was doing when he was voicing. He was feeling himself. He was in the studio, and he was like, this is my Oscar. I will do this.
My close-up, Mr.
I'm gonna
DeVille.
just bleeding heart artist.
Yeah, he ripped it out.
I hate them.
God damn. Yeah.
So that's my irrational grind my gears.
Just
Calm down enough. Like we get it. So, anyways,
any ideas? Any sparks? Any creativity moments from this episode?
Yeah, just I think what's coming off for me is a couple ideas about tangents that you can take from this to make another show and kind of blow up some of those points. This show has a multitude of cool story arcs and ideas, and I think that's amazing that they can do it. Okay, so to formulate my thought here, the show has multiple points of things they're trying to say, and they're meeting all of them, but it's on a larger scale to meet all of them. I would love a show that took one of those tenets, like an idea of a prodigy of a team, making a Neo guy, like that Shangri-La Aang character, but making him a unit of people instead, could be cool if you only hyper-focused on that. And did a series or a movie. The new Power Rangers movie has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Or like
Turtles,
like they're out there, but making a new, now that I see that, taking those ideas and running new with them. I love that idea. Like reinventing. People hate a little bit on reboots, and I can understand some where they're coming from, but at the same time, everything falls a little bit short, and you could maybe be the person if you do another one who met it all the way. Like when you see a good detective story now or a new noir, it's like, oh, you are truly that genre. You are that thing. You're a new modern version of it.
Right.
You've contributed to the body of that type of work.
Yeah.
So I would love to see a new movie, maybe Power Rangers, that takes the idea of like teamwork prodigy to that next level. Adds, pushes that bar, gets the 9.0 instead of the 9.1 100-meter dash. You know what I mean? Reinvent the game a little bit in someone else's world. You didn't reinvent the game, but you improved the game.
Yeah.
I would love to see that with a multitude. I keep saying the teamwork one, but a multitude of the other ones that are true in the show.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because there's so many. Nice. I was in the same boat. I think this was about recreating something old as something new. And I think idea-wise, specifically with comic book characters and biasly with DC comic book characters, to not reinvent, but be a part of the traditional radio drama and put it in this term, put it right now, put it in our vision of modernization or whatever that could be, evolve it with a really dramatic, really well done, or really passionate reading of maybe a comic that was already made and you get a full cast, or maybe a new story that someone would write, but you act it out and it's just like a podcast, or it's just like things that are very accessible right now. Yeah. And I feel like it has the opportunity to...
A little bit similar to Serial podcast.
Yes.
Where it's like almost that radio
You're
host
walking
thing where
around
it's like a TV show but just through a podcast.
Yeah, and you do the comic. So you could even have like a host and be like, go really old school with it with an introduction of the story, and then there's like records of old Batman stories where they acted out. We could do that today with comics or these situations. and you get a group of people. It'd be a lot of fun. You know what I mean? I think that would be a really cool idea. And then you could remake some of these stories that have gone already, so we know what they look like visually, and just act them out. Oh damn.
Yep.
You know, like Killing Joke, things like that.
Yeah.
Season of Young Justice, episode of Young Justice.
Yeah.
Everyone can put their voice on it. You know,
I like it.
Take it in a different direction. But.
I like it.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what the next episode is.
I think it is training. I don't know the name of it, but it's about like the Red Tornado and how they are Happy Harbor.
Yeah. Also, at the very end of this episode, which the episode we just watched, they bring in a huge character who I think will spend a whole bunch of time next podcast talking about McGann.
Oh my God, we didn't even not talk about her.
Right. So I mean, I fil like we'll set aside a good amount of time next time and just go over
McGann.
and bring it.
Wow.
Because she comes in so subtly,
Yeah.
and she ends up being one of the coolest characters I've ever seen written, and almost uniquely new. Like, she existed in the world,
Right.
but she got a reinvention in this.
Yeah.
Was cooler than so many other ways of people trying to revamp already superheroes.
And you mentioned that already with Superboy, how he was reimagining of Superman in terms of being sent from his people as their last son, the Genomorphs.
He's a Superman of
She
Genomorphs.
is the Wonder Woman. She's from a different planet, a
She's
different
the
society that man's world doesn't abide by, and she travels from that place too.
Yeah.
And they're a warrior tribe and shit. That's
Yeah. Okay, we can get.
We can go back. We go
off
off on Megan. Oh my God! Hello, Megan.
Hello, Megan.
Yeah.
That's everything.
That's
That
everything.
was a good
Wow,
little
thank you.
podcast.
That was great.
I hope this sounds okay. I really hope this one sounds okay.
And if it doesn't, guess what? We
Chicken
love you
butt.
anyway.
Remember that?
I remember.
Guess what,
Yeah.
chicken butt?
Guess why chicken thigh? Guess who chicken stew? Who's that wizard? Chicken gizzard. Do you know Sydney? Chicken kidney.
My mind is blown right now. I don't know what just happened. That was amazing. You're such a good artiste. All right. Signing off. See you later.
Yeah,
Sleepless in Seattle. You have a good night. And this is us. Goodbye.
These hugs. Keep watching.
Da na 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 da na 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 na.